What's going on, guys? Deadly here, and welcome to some more Advanced Warfare. And this time we're playing on Horizon, and we're still playing a little bit of free-for-all. And we are using the AMR9 with low-profile flak jacket. I don't ever know what my second perk is, and that's because, if I'm honest, all of the second perks suck. Like, there's no one good perk that's like, oh, I'm really glad they have that. But I think I'm using Cold-Blooded, simply because I think that's the most useful perk out of all of them. And then I more than likely have Scavenger and Blast Suppressor because at first I didn't really think Blast Suppressor was going to be too big of an issue. I didn't think that people were going to look at the map more often or as often as they do when you use the your what is it called? Your exoskeleton, your exosuit or whatever. But apparently, or at least from what I've noticed, ever since I put Blast Suppressor on, I don't get killed as much. So I guess people were definitely looking at where people were using their exosuit and chasing them down to get a nice easy kill. And I noticed that the Blast Suppressor really helps out with that. As for Scavenger, that's just because you run out of bullets so quickly in this game, especially if you get used to double tapping X. Now, if you don't know what double tapping X does, I'll tell you, don't worry. If you double tap X when you're reloading, it'll actually drop your magazine and it'll reload right away. So it reloads faster. Now, when I say it reloads faster, it's not insanely quick. You don't like save like a ton of time, but it is a fraction of a second, which I suppose could help you out in a situation where you have to reload pretty quickly. Now, the problem is that usually when you reload, it takes the amount of bullets that you have in your clip and adds them to your total, and it only replaces the bullets that you need. So if you have 40 bullets in the clip and you use 5, that means you'll have 35 rounds left in that clip. It'll add those 35 rounds back, and you'll simply lose 5 rounds to make it back to the 40 clips. But in this game, if you double tap X, you'll actually drop all of your rounds. So again, let's take back the example of the 40 ammo clip. You have 40 ammo, you use 5 rounds, you're down now to 35, and if you double tap X, you lose all 35 of those and you get a brand new clip. And like I said, it only saves like a fraction of a second. You're not getting a ton of ammo for I guess the time that you're actually saving, I suppose. So it's kind of a waste of ammo, but I suppose if you got used to just kind of spamming X and you realize that you're losing a lot of ammo, that's kind of why. So maybe run some Scavenger on there so you can keep double tapping X and you don't have to change your playstyle, or get used to the fact that you have to tap X once or else you're going to be throwing your clip away every single time. But that's kind of why I use Scavenger, because I have definitely gotten used to the fact that I double tap X all the time, especially in free-for-all. All I'm trying to do is reload, so like right there you guys see me drop the clip all the time. Another thing is that there's a lot of glitches in this game at the moment, and one of those is the double tap X glitch. Sometimes, no matter if you tap X once, you still lose your entire clip, and that can be really, really frustrating. So if there's been games where you're like, what the heck is going on with my ammo? That's what's going on. You're just losing a whole bunch of ammo because the game's a little bit glitched out and you're dropping your entire magazine every single time. Another thing that's happening, which probably isn't like too big of a deal, or at least for me, is that after you prestige, it's not tracking your stats anymore. So your KD, your wins, your losses, all of that stuff stops tracking. Now, they did say that they're going to patch it in the next patch, which would be the first patch, I think, unless they've already patched something. I don't know. I don't really keep up to date on that stuff. But that's kind of something that is neither here nor there for me. Like, I don't really care about that. The only time I actually check my stats are for when someone asks me. But if that's something that you're into and you realize, like, what the heck is going on with my stats, no matter how good I do, they're not improving, that's simply because if you've prestiged, the game is no longer tracking your stats, or at least it's not showing you the stats that it has tracked. So I don't know if that when they patch it, your stats are going to be fine, or if they're just going to start from where you left off. Another thing that is happening, and once again, this doesn't really affect me because I'm not like too big of a search and destroy player, but if you play search and destroy and you lose a round, it counts as a loss. So losing a round essentially counts as an entire loss. Like if you had just lost a round. So let's say you go and you win a search and destroy round 6 rounds to 5. That means you've picked up 5 losses and you've only picked up 1 win for winning the S&D match. So I'm hoping that's something they fix, because although I don't play it, that must be really, really frustrating to get a loss every single time you lose a round. because you're not getting a win every single time you win an S&D round. So it's really, really unfair to the people who play that. And if you care about your stats and play S&D, you are really getting hit twice with those glitches. But hopefully they'll be fixed. And I don't know if, like I said, I don't have like any insight into this, so I don't know if by fixing the match problems, the S&D match problems, and by fixing the stats not tracking, if they're gonna give you the stats that you should have, or if they're just gonna basically start off from where you left off. Like, I don't know. I would hope that they just essentially give you what you have, like that the game is tracking them. They're just not displaying them to you. I think that would be the best case scenario, but who knows? Like I said, I don't really have any insight into that. Now, other than those issues, the game's been fine. I've actually really been enjoying it. It's still a little bit frustrating because there's so many things that you can do. For like example, right here, I could chase this guy from so many directions simply because I can jump from so many things. So it's like very multi-dimensional, and that's still a lot to get used to. And I'm not sure it's something that I'll ever get used to, just because it's become very unpredictable where people are going to be. Whereas opposed to other games, I basically knew where people were going to come from and the best routes to take. But not this game. Other than that, the game's been really, really fun. Like, I've really been enjoying it. As usual, I always say this. I wish there was more guns in the game, and I don't know what they plan to do with like DLC, if they're gonna add guns or not. But there's not a lot of guns. Like, there's only like 4 sniper rifles. There's like 2 shotguns, and then there's a whole new class, which is like the heavy class. And I haven't even touched those guns because I'm not a big fan of light machine guns or the laser gun that they added. But I guess something cool that they did add, and I guess I should definitely give them a big plus for this, is the fact that they added guns that you can unlock as you like complete challenges or you get ammo supply drops. Those are really cool. I really enjoy that because they don't add a completely different gun, but sometimes the gun looks different and they have different stats, so it's almost like playing with a different gun. But it's pretty cool. Other than that, that's basically all I had for this video, so hopefully you enjoyed. If you guys did, let me know in the comments below, and peace.